move prisoners.
The remaining people, the people that I saw in the building
Which
around
are
the
four.
front door, okay. But you take the one away, and so you're down to 3. So now suddenly, those 3, well, what the hell, what they were doing, it's more important that they serve papers.
No, they're still doing what they were doing, except for in their downtime, they went and helped the security.
But they're not going to help the security anymore.
I-
But they're still getting paid the same money.
And they're still doing a job. They're actually doing more than just sitting there and doing security. They're actually out serving papers, which makes me money and makes you money. And I'm legally bound to serve papers.
And they're already serving, you say they're already serving papers now.
Occasionally, yes, when we can get them. Normally, we can't have them because they're over there doing security. So no, I can't. I mean, occasionally, yes, is the answer to that. And my lobby officer, 3,859 times an officer won't have to come in off the street to answer a call, do a VIN verification or whatever it is. I'm going to save gas, I'm going to save time, I'm going to keep people out on the street, hopefully, that otherwise wouldn't be there. So, I'm willing to work with you, I'm willing to even try to work with you however we can, and I know.
So what is a fair, I mean, I don't think that just a front door security guard necessarily, I don't think it would be fair to your road deputies to make the same amount of money. What's the market command for a position like this?
Couldn't tell you, I don't have any of those.
And that's, they only need 2 of those? Is that what, we're gonna need 2 on the door? So 2.
At separate times, you probably will need to make sure that they get their cycle, and it wouldn't be all at one time. But, you know, maybe we'll come to a compromise before then. What I'm trying to say is, I gotta do something, I've got guys on the road that are short. And you put the number to it however you want. I mean, you've thrown in my SROs, you've thrown in my DARE, you've thrown in my detective, well, no, you said you took the detectives out. But the thing is I'm trying to do what's best for the county, the citizens of this county, the majority of the citizens in this county. Yes, I believe that the court security at the Justice Center is just as valuable, if not more valuable, than your security here at this building. I mean, this is a courthouse. It has a courtroom in it. It's the same as that. They haven't used this courtroom for a while. I understand that, but you guys don't want to be here and not protected, and no one wants to be over there not protected, at least of me. I don't want you guys to be, any of these people to be unprotected.
Now,
My problem is, I gotta have people on the street, 52,000 versus 50 to 100. I'm gonna protect the 52,000, I'm gonna protect my people.
these people have to be post-certified by you.
Yes, they do, they have to be commissioned by me.
They have to be commissioned by
They're
you.
certified by post and commissioned by me.
So we jump into the pool of underemployed or unemployed people that are post-certifiable and able to be commissioned. We come up with 2 people. They pass the muster. Are you willing to commission them?
First of all, they gotta pass the muster, and we have a lengthy background check, so if they're post-certified, they probably will. Will I be willing to commission them? That's still up in the air. I gotta see who they are. I gotta know what their background is. I gotta know a lot more about them than just would I do it. Would I be opposed to commissioning them? No. However, they would be very limited in their powers. Very limited in their powers.
Leah, what does the law say about hiring an outside security firm? How do they go about getting? Do they get commissioned through their security firm? You know, security firms set their standards.
I don't believe you can be post-certified through a security firm. I don't believe so.
Even the ones that are like driving a Brinks truck or something like that?
No,
They're not post-certified.
They're armed guards is what they are.
But in order, because it's a government building, and because of what we're asking them to do, they would either have to have an MOU with the Sheriff's Department or something similar, but they certainly, those types of people are not post-certified. But in order to even carry a commission, it would just be a memorandum of understanding. But I think the tape that you would go through, because it's a government building, would be a state building essentially, I guess, provided. And my understanding when I was looking yesterday is that that building was created, one of the reasons it was created was because the security in this building was
Right.
not able to obtain. So they put it there so that there would be front security because of our call volume and all of those stats had increased such that the state allowed for us to have a building, is my understanding. Is that right, Grace? I mean, that's kind of what which is why we don't have court here.
Right.
But if we don't have security either place, I guess we could use this courtroom, we're always short. Just run back and forth.
We can come up with security, it's just gonna take us more than 5 days to do it.
I was just kidding.
And not to beat a dead horse, but that's why I came to you guys earlier about it.
But,
I said I would probably have to, or possibly
Right.
have to.
but can you understand why when I see 181
understand
last
that.
year, 181 this year,
But
that I
you
took that
also
to mean
gotta
no
understand-
change?
You also have to understand that I was given that final decision the day before the budget was stamped. So no, I didn't make any changes. I didn't drop that person out of that line item to another one.
Right,
You're right, I did not.
right.
But at the end of the year, when we do adjustments, that probably will be what comes out, with the exception of this 2 months now that I'm gonna cover.
Right.
Any other questions?
Well, I think something that we all know, and you do too, but we're not talking about it here is, whether it's the 2012 budget or 11 or 10 or 9, you can go back several years. It's never been a question in my mind, or a thing in my mind, let's see how much we can cut from the sheriff's budget. It's a question of how much we can afford to put in it by looking at our reserves. Your budget, everybody else's budget. If we would have taken everybody's budget request in the last 4 years and made no adjustments at all, we would, long before this, be out of money. I know that's not something that we really want to look at now, but that's got to be a major factor of consideration. Whoever's sitting on the commission, you know, your number one responsibility is to protect the citizens of Lincoln County. We want you to do that. We know that that's your responsibility. One of our responsibilities is to protect the revenue of Lincoln County.
And I understand that, sir.
Yeah, I
really do.
know you understand it, but I just think that's something that needs to be pointed out, that it's not a thing of what can we cut from the sheriff. You know, we look at all of the budgets and try to protect the revenue of the county. And have been criticized because we haven't protected it enough, because we've taken too much out of revenue for the sheriff's department and for 911.
Well, now that you brought that up, I'd like to expand on that just a little.
Good.
I understand and I believe that anyone who wants to speak the truth in here will know that I have said every time. In fact, just at our public budget meeting this year, I said I don't believe it's fair to give anyone raises because the economy is so bad. I've said that for 2-3 years now. And then I added to that, I don't believe anyone should have a raise that works for the county until my people get their 5% back that I took from them. Yes, I took from them in 10, 11, and now 12. And I took it from them because I was given a $900 and something thousand cut in 10, and I had to do something drastic. And I talked to all my people and said, you know, I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to keep everybody I can in a job, but I'm going to have to cut your pay. And that took care of probably the biggest part of my, well, a big part of my 900,000. And I lost quite a few people. If I started with 114, when I walked in that office in 2008, November 17th, there was 114 employees, if I remember correctly. And they're at 82, I believe, or 83.
That sounds right.
Right now. So I've lost 21 people at least in the 9, 10, and 11 budget years. Counting this one, three I've lost. Others that we've saved with me moving money from a discretionary fund and the prosecutor taking over one of my detectives' pays. So, you know, I know it's your job as a commissioner. I've told you this too. It's your job, I understand it, it's a hard job, but let's be a little bit across the board. Why am I taking a 16% cut and everybody else gets a 4%? Why am I taking the next year 10% and everybody else gets maybe a 6%? And then this year I take a 7%, and the majority, I'm gonna say the majority, because I believe that's what I heard you in that day say, are getting a raise of some type. And I'm still getting cut.
The question I would ask there is, considering raises that are given in the 2012 budget, why should all of the other departments be penalized that are operating under their budget, a lot of them way under their budget, because they have managed them carefully? I just don't think that those individuals who haven't gotten raises for a long period of time should be penalized because of that.
Mine haven't had raises, this will be their 6th year now, I believe, without raises. But I will tell you this, under their budget, operating under their budget. I've been under my budget every year, under my budget. I'm over my revenues, but I'm still under my budget.
I appreciate you operating under your budget. I acknowledge
And for
that
that,
you have.
and you know, for that, I get less and less and less every year. So that's a moot point, I guess. This is already done. I've accepted the budget cuts, and I've worked my tail end off to make sure we stayed under them. I watch them all the time, even though Raisin Bread may show up. Well, again, I don't know how you knew that. I don't think it's on a bill, because it's free. But it may be somewhere. I haven't seen it in 6 months. Jalapeno poppers, yes we did, $155 worth for New Year's Eve. She brought that in. She does not confer with me on everything she buys. I trust my staff to do the right thing, do the job, and they know they have to cut, and she has cut. And you asked earlier about we switched from one food service to another. Prices have gone down. You'll see it in your bills that the prices are down. We used to be up over $3,000 on every bill, and now we're down under $2,900. So it is going down. It's going to take a while. Can I get under $1.20 a meal? Not until I get a lot more prisoners. Am I looking for prisoners? Every day. Am I talking to the marshals? Every month.
I just want to address what you said about the raises, just to make this clear. Let's take Road and Bridge, for example. Those guys out there had gone a period without a raise, similar to what other people had.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I had not given them a raise, the extra money I had in Road and Bridge, it's Road and Bridge money, I can't give it to you. And even with the raises that we gave in Road and Bridge, most of those men who have years and years of experience and can operate equipment beyond most people's wildest dreams still make less than what your road deputies do.
I don't know. I can honestly tell. I'm going to take your word for that.
I do. There's a whole lot of guys out there that got a raise and are making $13, $14, $15, $16 an hour, and have been there 10 years, and can operate equipment.
And I'm not going to argue that they don't deserve it. I'm way beyond that. I think everybody here deserves a raise. I think most people work their tail ends off. I think they work their tail ends off. They deserve whatever they can get. Am I upset because they got it at them? No, I'm not. I'm not upset with anybody that got a raise. I think it's great they got one. I think it's great that they have an elected official fighting for them, or a supervisor fighting for them to get that raise. I have no problem. But in response to yours, I don't think it's fair that I'm taking the brunt of the hit. And what I've said all along, 5%, 10%, whatever you want to call it, it's relative across the board. If you make $100